ready?
Yes, ring the bell.
Welcome to the Lunchtime Rotary Show. We are, will everyone please stand
Yes.
and join us in a rousing performance of what?
God bless America.
What's it going to be?
Page 9, middle song.
It was
God
supposed to-
bless
it was
America.
Oh, okay. everyone.
Rotary motto first. Rose above self.
No. Later. We'll get.
I know the words
Okay.
of that. Thank you.
Rather appropriate as we approach, the height of we're in the middle of the campaigning activity and
No
the
kidding.
vote in a week. And I was thinking it was a good time to turn to say to the Lord to seek his wisdom as we make our decision before we go to vote. So page 9, middle song, God bless America. Okay. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Very good.
Excellent. And now, would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, would you please join in prayer or meditation as you choose, as I say, bless this food to our use and us to thy service. Amen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, guests first and speakers first and the food ready. All right.
Go for it.
Dave, how are you? I'm great. Haven't felt this well in 10 years. I think COVID resets your whole body.
We should get it. That's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. Look at me.
You look like it's
I feel like 2 million. But if my winning Powerball ticket comes in,
There you go, right?
I'm not sure what I'll do with this. So. Okay, Jackie, I'm going on pause.
I just to welcome guests. We have Ann Williams and Wayne Bell, and we're going to be speaking to us in a little bit. And I'd like to start with $50. Is there anyone here who's particularly happy?
I'm very happy.
Oh my!
I'm happy to the tune of $10.
Jackie, why are you shaking your head?
$5.
He's not that happy.
$5 because for each of us, because we survived COVID. It's overrated.
So, how is Paxlovid? Or
it's great. It gives you a metallic taste in your mouth.
Oh, how nice.
Not metallic, nasty.
Nasty.
All right.
Everything's
Well,
nasty.
we're very fortunate to have you back.
Well, we're delighted to be back.
Who else is happy? I'm going to throw in. I am happy because Wayne Bell and Joan, and I know this is a little bit delayed, but I think this is a thank you that bears repeating. These are the two key people, and and Bill, excuse me, the three of you were really the key people in putting together that candidates forum. And it was the first one that I had sat in on.
Obviously,
It
looked
was
like I needed
very
it.
interesting.
You left, hey,
I
you
had
left Paul
extra.
out.
Oh, and Paul, yes, our timer, even from the restroom. I thought that was a nice.
Unfortunately, my time went off when I was in there.
But it went smoothly, except the whole thing. And thank you all very, very much.
So how much was that worth?
Oh, the $5 each. That's $20. I'm
Whoa.
$20 happy.
Wow.
Who else? Who else? Tom Godwin, what are you happy for?
Because I'm here.
And how much is that worth? All
All right,
right.
hey, Tom.
Wait. How much? I didn't hear Tom.
2 years.
Five.
I was
Five.
my drinking buddy came down to visit me with his wife, and we had a good time over the weekend. He just said, you know, anybody that comes down here that doesn't drink, it's not, doesn't fit in. $10.
$10 from Ken Roberts. Thank you very much. Just a note, Ken, Chip Miller and I, and Jed Lafferty
Yeah.
played in the Habitat for Humanity golf tournament, and I am proud to say that we did not get lost.
Oh, yes, but I did.
He did actually.
My wife has things that she tells me about going to Disney World. She survived going to Disney World with me because I'm crazy and I run around like crazy. So I'm in the golf cart with Chip and we can't find the 10th hole because I've never played it. I'm running around the parking lot, he almost ran into a pickup truck. When he got out, he says to my wife, I
survived the golf cart ride to
Bravo. Well, the four of us hope to get together again. It was that much fun. We're going to start practicing about 2 weeks for next year's time. Libby.
So $5 because my sister came from Maine and my cousins from over in Lynchburg, Virginia to participate in the CBES.
Oh my, very good. Oh, very good. And how much is that worth?
$5.
Fabulous, fabulous. How many people? Oh, Al?
I was just gonna say, I've got $5 worth of happy because I participated in CBES and I tried my best to keep up with Chuck.
yeah.
And I can tell you, I saw the back of his bike most of the race. If you've ever ridden with him, he's a beast. He goes
really?
and goes. But I did complete we completed the 60 miles. So.
60 miles. 20 more than last year.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
No, I did 60 last
60
year.
miles. Okay, that's all right. And you didn't get lost either.
No.
Right. Obviously, you weren't riding with Ken. No.
If you were
Anyway.
following me, you would fit in the parking lot.
All right, very good. Joan.
$5 because I'm finally done with both of my cataract surgeries.
Yay!
Oh, $5 too.
All right, okay, very good, very good. Yeah, I meant to hold up $75. No, okay, I'm sorry. All right, very good. So thank you all. And we have a couple of announcements. So first off, Bill Strand.
A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned Festive Fridays. And we do have permission to close off Mason Avenue, so Mason Avenue is going to be closed. I want to say that this Festive Fridays, this year's Festive Fridays, is going to be a knockout. It's going to the revenue and expenses are doubled from the previous years, doubled. So plenty of lights, and it's called Candy Cane Lane. So I'm going to pass this around since if you can make it, it's great. It's from 5 to 8. We have parking, 2 people, And then there's gonna be 5 barriers closing the streets off. So what you do is you stand by the barrier, and if an emergency vehicle has to come by, you have to open it up. And the one barrier on Peach Street at Mason and Peach will have the carriage rides going through it. So, and then the one coming back on Harbor will also, so you'll have to move the barrier. It's easy. It's one of those easy barriers to move. So I'm going to pass this around. Please do it. We'll continue it until day up. So, and it's four Fridays.
Now, what's Candy Cane Lane?
That's the theme. That's the theme.
Ah, I see, okay.
No illumination?
No illumination. No.
Out now?
We threw all those away. They were crummy.
They were dogs, yeah.
Yeah. We got the lights, all the trees on Mason Avenue are gonna have lights in.
Oh, nice.
So,
Very good.
all right,
Okay.
any other
Great.
questions?
Yes. please.
Thank you.
Oh, and so it's 5 days, so it's 3 hours if you're on a barrier. Okay.
I think it's 3 hours for parking, right?
Well, yes, so the parking may not be the full 3 hours. It's probably the lighter.
Yeah,
duty.
the parking would only probably be the first 2 hours, because after that, there's not a whole lot of cars going in.
They can find their own way out.
Right.
There's only gonna be one way out. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And so when they reverse the parking and and there's gonna be a change here. The gravel parking lot, it used to have to go all the way through town and take a left there at the War Memorial. Now you're gonna go in right there at Peach and go in that way, and it'll be one way, but coming out, you're not gonna be able to come back. You're gonna have to go across through the field over there where the other parking is, come out on Harbor.
Okay. We may want to, if we have extra people, I know getting 7 people, that's quite a bit. But if we have any extra people, it would be good to divide that 3-hour stretch at the barriers, just so that people can have a little bit of time to mingle. So please be generous with your time. I want to thank you all for being very generous with your treasure, as they say. So that's it, Bill. Anything, by the way, Bill is the president of Main Street. Anything else new?
Yeah, there is. So there's gonna be brick and mortar bathrooms put in. You know where the train is located right now? Brick and mortar bathroom's gonna go in there. It's gonna look like a train station. And the town council approved last week to extend the brick and mortar bathrooms to be a welcome center / Cape Charles Main Street offices.
Where's that?
Awesome. Oh.
That sounds like a few bucks.
Yeah, it is a few bucks.
Where's that, Bill?
Right by where the train is. So it'll run north and south, I'm sorry, east and west. And the building will look like a train station. An old train station where you can put rocking chairs out there and stuff. So it's gonna be a really nice thing, so.
Excellent.
Where will it be, behind the parking lot or as part of the parking lot?
It's right there where the train was. It's right there by the parking lot. It's so it'd be really right behind the parking lot
Okay.
where it is now.
So
South.
when will that be constructed, you know?
It just
They
got approved.
promised, they have promised to have that completed by the start of next summer, but we're hoping by the end of next summer. But the bathrooms are supposed to go first anyway, so.
Is it to the east or the west of
The car's gonna stay there. The car's gonna be refinished on the outside
The west of the car.
only.
Is it the west of the car?
It's to the west of the car.
So any word on the asbestos remediation for the?
It's
train car?
already happened.
Oh, really?
It's already happened.
Oh, good.
That was phase 1.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, bravo and congratulations. Okay, we also have a word from our social committee and Joan Natalie.
Oh, I just wanted to update everybody. I talked with Louise Oliver this morning because we're trying to get the dates for the Christmas venue. And she said that she had made a commitment to another group, and they're meeting tonight to pick their date. So she should let me know tomorrow which of the dates that we gave her would be available for us. So we should know within a day or two what date the Christmas event will be, and then we can start planning what we're gonna have at it.
That's great. That's great. All right, thank you. Now, I would, it is time for the speakers, but I am going to take a like 2-minute break because there's some of us who have not eaten. So did you?
He's eating.
I'm good.
You're fine, good. Because we need,
I'm good.
we need to finish it.
Yeah.
Good. Who would like it?
Ken take the whole tray.
There you
Go,
go.
Ken.
We also have- All right, very good. I haven't eaten. Would you like? Go ahead. Yes, please, please.
And I think there's fries there too.
Yes, absolutely. Who would like more? I just made that.
Rose Ken,
I got yours.
you got me some fries too, Bill?
There you go.
She wanted fries too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you some fries too.
Yeah. All right.
Time for the meeting.
Very good. And there's also more fries up here if you guys would like.
I get to surprise.
That's okay, Paul.
We need a separate container for the fries.
I'm done.
Oh,
Somebody's got to do it, yes.
Get this more fries.
Oh, okay. All right.
A lot of fries here.
Well,
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Jack's appetite.
all right. Who would like more fries?
That's right, it's good.
I heard the tips here.
the container.
I'm not watching your girls. There you go. All right.
Who is that coughing?
Oh,
I've got a face mask on.
Good.
All right, let's see here. We're almost done. Almost done.
Oh, you don't sound good at all.
All right.
That's why I got a face mask on.
Yes, we appreciate that even from afar.
All right. Wayne, whenever you are ready, all right, please feel free to start. And by the way, I'm Jim Reggie.
Hey, Jim. Dan Williams. Nice to meet you. We're being here.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Again, as already mentioned, my name is Wayne Bell, of course, a member of this fine Rotary Club.
And past president.
And past president,
Past area governor.
past area governor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I take my hat.
Paul Harris Fellow. Past Paul Harris Fellow. But we're very excited to be here with you today. I have my colleague, Miss Ann Williams, who was very instrumental in helping get Children's Harbor started. And so I'm going to let Ann first speak about her vision and how we got to the point of getting Children's Harbor started on the Eastern Shore, and then I'll talk to you about exactly what it is we did. So.
Thank you guys for having us. I've enjoyed seeing you. I see a couple familiar faces. Again, my name's Ann Williams, and I moved here from Fairfax County almost 26 years ago. And I have a master's degree in early childhood education, and moved here with a husband and a 6-month-old, and I was blessed to be able to stay home with her and not have to work. But I always saw the need for childcare, and as the years went on and I had more children, I kept seeing the need for more childcare. So in January of 2020, that famous year when the world shut down, I had reached out to Wayne once I found out he was CEO at Children's Harbor, and he'll tell you more about the history of Children's Harbor, to have coffee with him and tell him about the need for childcare in Accomack County. I think there's more probably needed in Northampton County too, but my circles are in Accomack County. So we met for coffee and I told him I had a building that I wanted to use. I had all this information that I was gonna gather and that I wanted to know if Children's Harbor, if their corporate office would consider expanding to the Eastern Shore. So he gave me the go-ahead to do more fact finding, do my due diligence, gather all the information, and once I had all of that, he would take me to his board of directors. So of course, COVID shut the world down, but that didn't stop me from working. So I did a community needs assessment. I got letters of support from the Chamber of Commerce about the boon to economic development that more affordable childcare will bring to the county, allowing more moms and in some cases dads go back to work. I got a letter from a healthcare provider who was a mom with young children at a childcare situation that she wasn't thrilled about. I got a letter from social services talking about the families who were willing to be foster families, but they couldn't foster these children because they had to work and they didn't have anywhere to take the children. Very limited spots, particularly for infants and toddlers. So I did all of that. Wayne and I went in front of the Accomack County Board of Supervisors. And I took all of that information, and the Board of Supervisors were very supportive from the get-go. Took all that information to his board and they said, well, we see that you have community buy-in. We, agree with you that there's need, but we're a nonprofit. We don't have a happy day fund where we can just stroke a check for startup costs to open a childcare center. And I said, okay, well, how much would you like me to raise so that you would really raise your eyebrows and give me the go ahead? And they said, well, if you had some seed money of about $250,000, then we would take it more seriously. So having done a lot of volunteer work with the hospital and some paid consulting for the hospital for community relations and marketing and public relations, I had a relationship with then Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam's chief of staff from when Ralph came to do the ribbon cutting for our new hospital in Anacott. So I had kept his number thinking, you never know when that guy's phone number might come in handy. So by then, of course, Ralph was governor. And so I emailed his chief of staff, sent him all the information that I had gathered that I presented to his board and told him that Accomack County needed $250,000 to start a childcare center. And he put it in the state budget, and Lynn Lewis and Rob Bloxham fought for it to stay in the state budget. And I got a call on the last day of the General Assembly saying that there was a line item in the state budget for Accomack County to get money to open a childcare center. So really excited. Wayne and I were excited, went back to his board and they said, go for it. So there was an old restaurant in Anacott called Fairgrounds that was several bars before that. And the owner was looking to sell it and couldn't find anybody to buy it. And it's fabulous space. After today, if any of you are ever around the Anacott area and would like a tour of the center, I love showing it off. It was kind of my brainchild with Wayne's help and his corporate staff's help. And we totally gutted it. And we are leasing it from the owner, which is Forrest Drummond, who owns Eastern Shore Auto Body. And we spent all the money that the state gave us. We got a big grant from the Eastern Shore Community Foundation. We got a big grant from the Purdue Foundation and several other grants along the way. Wayne has a great grant writer at his corporate office who was able to obtain some more grants for us. So with all of that money and some other fundraising that we did, we were able to open the Monday week after Easter. And we're licensed for up to 88. And this summer we had, I think about 65. And then we lost some children back to Head Start. And then we lost the summer camp children back to school. But we do all range of prices. We have some who are going at no cost because of the mixed delivery fund that Wayne will probably talk more about. And we have sliding scale based on the income of the families. And one of the positive results of COVID and the funding that came down is we got some money from the state, and there's ongoing child care subsidy money for working families. And we have infants, waddlers, toddlers, 2s, 3s, and pre-K. And all of our rooms are full with the waiting list, except for the pre-K room. So we could open a whole nother center the same size as this one and still not get everybody off the waiting list. But we're doing what we can and helping as many children as we can. We have educated and very talented staff. We have some with associate's degrees, some with bachelor's degrees, some with master's degrees. Trina Cooper, you all may have known in the past, she's been involved in many things. She's our director and she's wonderful. And we've just promoted our head of our infant program to assistant director. And she's a graduate of James Madison and she's doing a great job. And I was in there a lot this summer because we had some staff changeover. So I was helping Trina as kind of an interim assistant director. And there are wonderful things that are happening every day. And we really are making the difference in the lives of many young children in Accomack County. So with that, I'll turn it over to Wayne.
You have a question period?
Yes, yes. Do you want to do it now or after Wayne
Yeah,
talks?
now.
Okay.
I'll forget.
Okay.
How large is your staff?
We have 12 full-time staff. So, and we have a full-time cook and she's very proud and we're very proud of her. Every inspection we've gotten from the health department, she's had no dings. She's gotten perfect scores. And when we give tours, parents want to see the kitchen. They want to see where the food is being fixed that their children are eating. And that brings up the fact that we are part of the Child and Adult Care Federal Food Program. So parents don't have to pack meals or snacks unless their child has specific food allergies. We provide breakfast, hot lunch, and an afternoon snack.
What's the age?
6 weeks to 5 years. And then before and after school.
What are the hours?
We're open 6 to 6. No children are allowed to be there that long. It's not good for anybody to be in childcare that long. So we do have an 11th hour fee that if the children are there over 10 hours, we do charge the parents because they need to go get their babies.
Great.
All right, good job. So,
Pretty impressive.
One of the
Of
things-
startup money. How much of the funding is continuing assistance, such as this food grant?
Oh, the food programs, that's a federal program that's been going on for years. That will not stop. The money from the governor that was in the budget, unfortunately, was a one-time line item. And if I had known he was gonna say yes so easily, I would have asked for a lot more. But, I asked for the number that his board threw out. And then after Linwood Lewis called me and said, Ann, I don't know how you did it, but it's in there. I was like, darn, I wish I would have asked for more. Because we still have some projects that we want to fund, like soft surfacing outside for our infants so that they can get outside and crawl around. Right now, we take them outside in these bye-bye buggies, but we want to be able to let them get down on the ground and crawl around when the weather's nice and stuff like that. So we're still fundraising.
Always.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, there are many factors as to why the governor put the money in the budget the way he did, which is a very unusual thing. So it was a huge, significant accomplishment for us to get that, because that's not something that is done very often. But one of the main reasons why the governor did that is because the Eastern Shore is considered a child care desert. And what that means is that the Eastern Shore has been identified as not having adequate child care services. And so the governor and his staff was motivated to install a child care center. So my question to you all, and I got 2 pins, so 2 rewards. If somebody would raise their hand and answer the question as to why is child care so critical? Why do you think child care is so critical?
Child care.
Go ahead.
It's so critical because the children are the future of our nation area.
Absolutely. And if we don't invest in them and give them proper child care and education, then we're going to pay for it on the back end through the criminal justice system, so on and so forth.
80% of brain development happens by the age 5.
Correct. What's another reason why, I got one more pin, so what's another reason why child care is so critical? He had his hand up.
No, he's smarter guy.
It does stop the parents from being able to make a living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bingo. Absolutely. If we eliminate child care, then we're going to shut down our economy. And that's very evident during the time with COVID. We were one of the only child care facilities in the Hampton Roads that stayed open every day during COVID. A lot of child care centers that experienced COVID are no longer existing. But I was committed to making sure Children's Harbor kept its doors open because we service a lot of military families in the Hampton Roads. We service a lot of lawyers and doctors and those individuals who can't afford to stay at home, because if they do, it's going to shut down the Hampton Roads community. And so I was committed to making sure that we stayed open. So what we actually did was we actually installed a virtual platform so that those students who were no longer, because remember there was a period where students weren't even going to public school. They weren't allowed to go to school. School was shut down and everything was done virtually. The problem with that was if mom and dad had to go to work, who was home watching the children? Who was providing that education? So what Children's Harbor committed to doing was we actually purchased, enhanced our virtual platform, purchased computers and what have you, hired more teaching staff, and we provided virtual learning in our child care centers. And that was our strategy for being able to stay open during COVID. And it's just one of the innovative things that we try to do at Children's Harbor. We've been around since 1911, so we have a very long-standing reputation. We don't like to be referred as a daycare center. We get offended when you refer to us as daycare. The reason why is because at daycare, the only thing they're doing at daycare, they're just watching your child, all right? They're making sure that they come back, don't cut their arm off or don't run out the street and get hit by a car. But at Children's Harbor, we actually provide an education. So we use what we call a Frog Street curriculum, and we actually educate those students so that by the time they go to kindergarten, we want them to be ready for that experience. We do what we refer to as an ages and stages questionnaire. And so we understand what developmental milestones each child should have at a certain age, and we test them on those milestones. And the Frog Street curriculum helps us enhance that opportunity. One of the other things that we offer is we offer training to not only our staff, but we offer training to our competitors. So we have a very robust training department. We just completed our 16th annual training conference, which was held at Granby High School 2 weeks ago. We had over 400 participants from all of Hampton Roads, and a lot of our staff are on the Virginia and National BASIC conference. So, we take pride in that. So we don't just train our staff, but we train those other entities that are mostly private entities, and their staff come to our trainings and what have you as well. Of course, they pay for it, which is another revenue source for us, but we utilize that service as well. In addition to that, we provide before and after care. So that is for those students who are in the school setting, but mom and dad may be working, and so they need to drop their child off in the morning at 6 o'clock so that mom can go to the hospital or dad can go to Purdue or whatever the case may be. And then because we're open until 6 o'clock, it allows that child to be there after school, similar to like the Boys and Girls Club, where they can come to us after school and still give the parents time to get off work and not disrupt, the family income and what have you, that they is so necessary. So we just take a great deal of pride in what we do at Children's Harbor. As you can see, we have 4 centers in the Hampton Roads, and we've opened up our newest center here on the Eastern Shore, as Ann had indicated. So a lot of times when we go to social clubs such as the Rotary, and we know you all give back to the community, we often make an ask of consider Children's Harbor as an entity that you can make an investment in as you're deciding what entities to give to. Reason being is because we are a nonprofit, and other child care facilities have shut down in the Hampton Roads and here on the Eastern Shore as well. And if we don't continue to get dollars in, then at some point we're going to be faced with real tough decisions. We charge right now $200 per week for child care, is what we charge here. On the other side of the water, we charge about $250. We're getting ready to increase tuition by another $30 as of January 1. The Eastern Shore is not going to be impacted by that first tuition increase because we just opened the center, and I didn't think it was fair to charge parents a new higher rate after not even having the center open for a year. But what that means is Children's Harbor is going to have to eat that cost. And we all know that costs are increasing every day. The nice meal that we just finished eating, that burger cost is higher now than what we would have paid for a year and a half ago. And at some point, you get to a point where you max out at what you can charge for childcare because it becomes unaffordable. If it becomes unaffordable and I'm paying more in childcare than anything else, then I gotta come up with another option, and I might not go to work. I might just stay at home and take care of my kids at home. And we've seen people make those decisions. So if you all are so inclined, you have the resources and the funds to do so, making a contribution to Children's Harbor would definitely go a long way to providing continued support for not only the children that we serve, but also the families that we serve. Because the state, I think, has finally started to realize that they really need to invest in childcare. For many years, the state was not putting a lot of money into childcare, but over the last 18 months, and COVID really showed its ugly head in that area, because since COVID, the state has pumped lots of money into childcare. Here's a prime example, Ann mentioned it earlier, mixed delivery. There's a program called Mixed Delivery. It is state dollars that is provided to childcare facilities to pay for tuition of those families that meet a certain income threshold. However, the income threshold is significant, so you could have a 2-teacher household, and we figure teachers are fairly middle income individuals, right? You could have 2-parent income with 2 teachers, and they would probably meet that threshold that the state is providing. And so in other words, they increase that margin of what you can earn to provide free childcare. Why did they do that? Why did the state pour that type of money into it? Because they recognize that childcare is that important. Because if we don't put money into childcare, we're not investing in our future, and we're also going to shut down the economy because people are going to stop working. And so that's why it's very important. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions?
I should get a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything on the planning board or on the radar screen to have one in Northampton County? Number one. Secondly, I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old great grandsons.
Mm-hmm.
They are learning how to create, build robots and program them and all those types of things. Do we have those types of capabilities yet in the facilities here?
For Children's Harbor Child Care, part of our summer programming is that we partner with different entities to do those types of things. And if you look in we have our annual booklet going around. And if you look in it, it gives data about the number of kids we serve. We probably serve over 500 children at any one time. But as you look through some of these pictures, you'll see the different types of things that we focus on. So we talk about the mixed delivery. We talk about taking the field trips, and they learn about agriculture, horticulture, and so on and so forth. So robotics, if that's something that we can partner with somebody to provide that service, we're always open to do that. And that would be an example of how funding could go towards supporting such a cause. Absolutely. Now, the other question you asked was about Children's Harbor coming to Northampton County. We would come to Northampton County after we have conducted a thorough needs assessment to, one, determine what's the need and can we finance it. And I will also tell you that in Upper Accomack County, there's a large need near Wallops, and Wallops actually approached us about opening a facility up there, and they were willing to even give us a building to start because they're losing so many high-powered executives who don't want to come here because there's no adequate childcare. One of the things that people look for in upper echelon of profession is, how are my children going to be cared for and educated? What are the quality of your schools, and what's the quality of your childcare? And NASA has realized that a lot of people are rejecting offers, and so they approached us about, can you bring Children's Harbor to Upper Accomack County? And we have a building for you. So we are exploring that option as a possibility. And they're also working on some things internally as well. So yes, I would say there is that opportunity to come to Northampton County, because I'm certainly from Northampton County, so I'm always invested, not only on shore, but in Northampton County. But it would have to make sense based on the needs assessment.
Right. Okay.
Other questions? I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
If you want to make a contribution, would you send it to the corporate headquarters?
Yes, and so you could check our website. There's an opportunity to donate on the website, but yes, you could also mail it to the corporate office. Or you could take if it's convenient, you could take a check up to the Onancock Center and then they would get it to the corporate office. And because we are a 501c3 entity, all contributions are 100% tax deductible.
And we do have some Northampton County families who use our school, some who work at Wallops and some who work at points north of Onancock, Purdue, Tyson's. So, so we have a handful of families from Northampton County, as it is.
As soon as we met with the Accomack County Board of Supervisors, I was approached by the 911 director, which services both Northampton and Accomack. And he approached me because he has a lot of issue with staff calling out because they don't have childcare. And so he actually created a contract with me that I would provide him one guaranteed slot for any of his staff whenever they needed childcare. And we worked that contract out, and we actually instituted that as soon as we opened our facility. Another example of how important childcare is. So, all right, any other questions? All right, thank you for your
I have one question, sorry.
Mhm.
So you said that currently there's obviously a waiting list.
Mhm.
How often is that being opened up? Because the spot's opening up. I would imagine.
Well, it depends. The children will age out of the room they're
Right.
in. So it's, it's kind of a waiting game, and it's not just based on their age, it's based on their age and their developmental level. Like we have an infant who's a foster baby, and he was born premature and he has a cleft palate. So he's behind developmentally. So he's getting ready to turn 1 in December, but he's more like a 6-month-old. So we're certainly not going to send him up to the waddler room. So it's based on first their date of birth, and second their developmental level, and if they're meeting their milestones. If not, we'll hold them back a couple months till they get caught up. But so then they would move, which would open up a couple infant spots, and then on up the road to pre-K.
Yeah, and we are also restricted by staff to student ratio.
Yes.
And so for the infants, for example, we're restricted to a 1 to 4. So for every teacher, or for every 4 children, you must have 1 teacher. And as the children get older, the ratio expands. And so sometimes we're restricted by ratio.
I have one other question.
Mm-hmm.
Making donations, is there a way to guarantee that money is staying on the shore?
Absolutely.
Yes,
So
you can put
you're
that on your,
specifying.
yes,
right?
you can say for the Eastern Shore.
Yeah. You
Please,
just,
please do.
because the organization has a general budget,
right?
But then it also each center, whatever monies they raise, we earmark it to that center. And so, for example, Eastern Shore Center just recently did a yard sale. And so whatever monies they raise for that yard sale will stay with that center. And it allows the center director to provide incentives to teachers. It allows, for all types of things. So.
And speaking to that, we have a donation board. It's actually a donation sailboat. And underneath that, we have waves. And for every individual or entity or family who donates $1,000 or more, your name goes on a wave. You get your very own wave. So, and we're filling that up as quickly as we can, but we have lots of waves available.
So I know Bill Payne's probably gonna strike a check for his name to get put on the wave.
I have to check with Jackie.
Oh wait, I think you lost the connection, right? Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But again,
But Wayne, you're right.
if any of you find yourselves up, or if you're going to be up the road anywhere near Onancock and would love to go on a tour, we try to do tours only on Wednesdays. So I can make sure that I'm going to be there, but just call the center and leave me a message or ask to speak to me. And I absolutely love showing it off, especially to people who were there in previous years when it was various bars and restaurants.
To see the transformation is amazing.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of work. The $250,000 was spent on Lincoln and I, because it was probably closer to $700,000 to get it where it needed to be.
Because
there was a lot of
them-
plumbing and all types of issues,
Yeah,
but
the
it's done now.
restaurants.
Yeah.
The restaurants and bars who took over were so anxious to get going that they band-aided a lot of significant issues. So we couldn't do that with children.
Yeah.
We had to have water flowing and everything working just right. So it was more than an ocean. So, but it's worth every penny.
All right, thank you all for your time.
Now, before you go, this donation to the Literacy Council to provide every graduating fifth grader, every fifth grader every 5-year-old graduating from the Dolly Parton.
Yes, we
book
just did her
giveaway.
program at the center.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes.
All right, well, some of your people, your kids, may receive these books, and one of them will have your name in that children's harbor.
Awesome.
Great, thank you.
On the inside cover.
Thank you,
So
sir.
thank
Great,
you
thank
very,
you
very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and for the Rotary pledge?
One.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And number 5, yes, ma'am. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, service above self.
You are an angel.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see you. Maybe next time.
Right, goodbye, everyone.
I will. I
Bye,
definitely.
Diane.
So,
Bye, Jackie, sorry I didn't get to meet you in person. Glad you're on the
Next
net.
time. Nice meeting you.
Very impressive, Ann. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for your time. Oh, thank you.
I think you dropped your laptop.
I did.
Backed up. Looks like it might be
What
yours.
did you drop? Oh,
I'll drop.
are you really trying to get